Good morning, happy Tuesday, my family. Hey, I'm just gonna dive right in. I need every last one of y'all, to look in the mirror and tell yourself you can't keep living like this. Like seriously, because me personally, I'm not satisfied with where I am in life. I'm just not, because I know I can be much further. And as I spoke about this before, it's the seeds that I did not sow, or the seeds that I sowed. It wasn't good seeds. That was seeds for my future. So basically, last year I didn't sow enough seeds, or the right seeds, um, that set up this season of my life. All right, so um, So, needless to say, I'm not where I feel like I'm supposed to be because of what I didn't do 5 years ago. All right. And maybe you're not where you supposed to be, or where you could be, because you have not sown seeds, or you have not sown the right seeds. Period. So it's either one or two things. All right. You where you are now because of what you didn't do, or the mistake that you made. All right. So with speaking about that, as I said before, I'm not where I know where I could be. All right. So that means what I'm doing now, because you have to understand, once you start something, it's this. I mean, you have to give your harvest time to grow. All right. So what I need myself to do is start sowing seeds. All right. And I know one of the most difficult things is not knowing where to start. Where do I start? And I get it. Last week, God, like a couple weeks ago, God basically told me that, okay, this is what I want you to start focus on. This is what I want you to start investing your time and energy in. And I'm like, okay, well, last week I'm like, okay, so now I'm supposed to start today. So I don't know where to begin. And he told me, it's in your heart. I'm like, okay. And as I proceeded throughout the day in his presence, then he started showing me things. So what you're supposed to be doing, where you should start, is already in your heart. But see, what happens is, because of our selfish ambitions, because our ill motives, and because of things that we're trying to do for ourselves, and nothing wrong with that, but how is it benefiting just you? So when that happens, we taint our purpose. We taint the desires that he put in our hearts. Well, it doesn't taint the desires he put in our hearts. It's because of the desires that we have. We chase those, and they put his to the side. All right. So last week, in the men's ministry, which, men, I encourage you please to be a part of it, is Huddle Up Ministries, HUDDLUP, no E. All right. Last week, basically, I've been covering examining our hearts, right? Where our treasure is, where our heart is, that's where our treasure is. So if it's in money, if it's in things, that's where our heart is. God needs to have our heart. So by God having our heart, then he's able to unveil, to disclose the desires of our hearts that he has placed within our hearts. And then we'll know where to start. So I need you, not only for you to look in the mirror and tell yourself, okay, you can't keep living like this. Pull back and ask God to help you examine your heart. All right. So you can see what's all in the way, what's clouding, what's distorting the reception and the connection between you and God. So you so he can start revealing to you from your heart that he placed in your heart where to start, and then go from there. But we can't keep living like this. We can't keep settling for. We can't just keep settling for what's in our laps. So we're not. Yes, we're supposed to be content in His will, operate in His will, work in His will, make decisions within His will. But that's it. Like, we're not supposed to be content with life, because when it comes down to faith and obedience, it's a movement. It's a movement. We can't be complacent and talking about like, I have faith. We can't be going nowhere in life. We can't be like not going somewhere in life talking about we're obedient to His word and we're walking by faith and not by sight. We can't say that. You know what I'm saying? So now with the decisions that we've made, that where everything was rolling, everything was good, everything was happening, everything was popping, and then all of a sudden something happened. Now, in the word, when speaking about those treasures, is in Matthew. When speaking about those treasures, paraphrasing, it speaks about though your treasures coming up against fire, and what will if it stands the fire, then something. So you get what I'm saying. So if you made a decision and everything was good, and then it's like you've been brought back down because you done lost it all, where was your treasures? Because it says store up our treasures in heaven, not here on earth. All right. So what was your treasures? And now you ready to give up. You depressed. You don't know what to do or whatever, because now you've lost your treasures, and you feel in such a way because that's where your heart was. So again, we have to examine our hearts. We have to always examine our hearts, and we have to make sure that God have our hearts, and by God having our hearts and the things that we're supposed to be doing, then the treasures that we're supposed to be storing up in instruction up in heaven, it will come naturally. And then when we begin to do that, then there's a special favor that God have on our lives that He's willing to pour down from heaven on our behalf, because we're storing up treasures in heaven, because we're looking to advance His kingdom, because we're doing the things that's going to bring Him glory. So He have a special something that He has already planned for us, predestined before we was born. So He want to give us that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you in your life, your journey. You know what I'm saying? But He want to do these things. But we have to check our hearts. We have to really step back and find out where our treasures are, and pull back and ask God to help us with that. And then once He have our hearts, then that sowing the seeds and knowing where to start, then He'll tell us where to start. He'll show us how to start. He'll tell us where to begin. He'll tell us how to begin. But if you continue seeking to advance your own kingdom, look what I got, look what I did, self-made, all this foolishness, every time those treasures are going to come up against fire, and it's going to get burned. All right. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, we can't continue living like this. It's a wide range of things that we need to check in our lives, but it starts with our hearts. It starts with our hearts. Where our hearts is, that's where our treasure is. If our treasures is not stored up in heaven, if our treasures not of God, then He don't have our heart. All right. So now we're gonna keep trying to figure it out. Let's give Him our heart and allow Him to reveal to us what's on our hearts, what He need us to do, and the treasures will come to light for us, because now we seeking to advance His kingdom. Now we're seeking to do things pleasing to him that's going to bring him glory. And we're going to see a whole nother shift. It's not going to happen today. It might not happen next year, but we have to sow seeds so it'll prepare us for the future. All right, so it can lay the foundation for our future. All right, peace.